Happy Saturday, Balance Nation. Before I kick off my Memorial Day weekend, where I will not be social distancing, where I will not be wearing a mask, I want to jump on here and talk to you guys about the fallacies of dietary supplements and detoxes and why they don't work. As you were seeing here lately, there's a whole bunch of things. I covered this in a previous video about how immune support supplements can actually harm you. I'm going to go a little bit different. I'm going to show you some of the things that I've been getting here lately when it comes to these questions from you guys. So let's get into it. Okay, so here's the thing. Listen, this is coming from a guy who owns a nutraceutical company. Okay, I formulated supplements. My first one was 25 years ago. It was my first supplement in my line, Helion formulas. Anyways, called Food of Life. Anyways, my whole thing is I use dietary supplements. They are one of the tools in the toolbox. I produce and manufacture my own. I don't private label. What I do is I formulate, I pick the raw ingredients, I have them manufactured, and so forth. So there's a big difference. And as you guys probably know, I'm a person who critiques other things and people based upon your questions that you send me. Either you post them in Balance Nation or you send me a question through Messenger or email. So one of the things is that in this time of the COVID-19 hoax, a lot of people are talking about the immune system and boosting the immune system. And of course, it goes automatically by default to some type of pill, potion, or powder. Okay, that's the first thing. Then people love the gadgets and the gizmos. Okay, so what I wanted to do was just kind of give you an idea, a little inside scoop. Because remember, my other thing is I tell you guys, don't believe me. Everything I share on here is based upon my own personal opinion, discovery, and belief. And a lot of times I'm going to be very, challenging to individuals that I specifically reveal because I love transparency and I welcome anybody to do the same thing with anything that I say about myself or anything like that. Everything is up for debate because ultimately you are the boss of you, and everything always should boil down to you being ultimately responsible for your health, your wellness, and the decisions that you make will produce results that are 100% your victory or fault. Okay? So the thing about this is this: there's a lot of things that people ask me about all the time, and of course is supplements, because we know that people out there will have different health complaints, the things that they're bothered with, or what can I take this for that? It's always the ultimate quid pro quo, to use the vernacular of recent. So in other words, it's this in exchange for that. Okay, what can I take for this? Okay, so what ABC can I take for XYZ? And it's always a substance for a disease, right? So what can I take for migraines? What can you give me for psoriasis? Okay, it's usually that. That's the first thing. The second one is then the broader fallacy of some type of support, like bone support, skin support, hair support. Let me give you guys a little bit of inside whistleblower on that. When it comes to the world of dietary supplements, we have something called the FDA, right? The Food and Drug Administration. And there is the Dietary Health and Supplement Acts and stuff like that. So the thing is you can't say things about supplements. You can't say that it treats a particular disease. Now, you can with homeopathics, because homeopathics actually have NDC numbers, and you can say this homeopathic is for headaches or this is for psoriasis. You really can. That's the interesting thing about homeopathics that are out there in the supplement world. But you can't say, take this turmeric for IBS. A lot of people do that anyways, and it doesn't work. Turmeric has a really hard time getting out of the intestines, by the way. So don't get me started on that one. The point is that that's why you guys will always see that little FDA disclosure that this product is not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any disease. And these statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. We have to put that on everything, okay? So instead of treating disease XYZ, people will say it supports it, okay? Now, do some things support it? Sure, but that's a big word, right? It's a lot of gray area to say it supports it. So like, for instance, somebody would posted something here in some other thread, I forgot where it was, but the context was something a little bit about hydroxychloroquine defluorinating the pineal gland, because that's a lot of times what fluoride does, especially like when you guys are seasonal allergies and you're pumping in Flonase, right? Flonase has a fluoride molecule in it bound to sulfur. So in other words, you're pushing fluoride straight up directly into the brain. And fluoride is a very toxic molecule when it is synthetically derived. Fluoride is actually in certain mineral complexes, various fulvic and humic acid complexes and stuff. So it's a different thing in the context of that. But if you're pushing Flonase up into your nose these days, this time of year in the northern hemisphere, you're pushing in fluoride into the brain. And fluoride has an affinity for the pineal gland. And the pineal gland responds with a certain chemistry, and calcium can deposit there, and it changes all kinds of things in the downstream cascade. But my point is, that thread was about that, and I was like, well, listen, and then people were talking about iodine, right? Because everybody who's out there, all these gurus and stuff, and all these niche pickers, in times of trouble, they're going to say that their specific niche substance is the answer, okay? So like Brownstein's going to say everything is iodine and Einstein cures COVID-19. Okay, then you're going to have, you know, the charlatan and non-clinician that I mentioned before, Doris Luh, who everything is vitamin C, and now everything is melatonin. Okay, and I'm going to give you an example of that here in just a second, right? And then you'll have the next person say, oh, everything is medicinal mushroom, and another person's, oh, everything is, you know, bone broth, or that's their niche. It's just what they do, right? The problem with that is it absolutely obfuscates you as an individual, okay? It's like saying this gasoline or this fuel is great for engines. Well, if they don't know what type of engine, right? You can't burn unleaded gas in a diesel and vice versa, okay? You can put kerosene in a diesel engine. You can put kerosene in a unleaded engine. That's what we used to do down south when it was cheaper than gas. Anyways, but it has a negative detriment over time, okay? And so the thing is that my big message to everyone vis-a-vis balance protocol and the method that I use, my shtick, if you will, is that I am not a niche picker. That there's all kinds of tools and substances that have clinical merit and application. The only way you can know if they do is if you know about your current status, okay? It's just like growing plants, okay? There are certain vegetables that need to be grown in an acidic soil, like tomatoes, okay? And there's other ones that need to be grown in an alkaline soil, okay? You can't just go, oh, it's great dirt, and I put in some, you know, the mature manure black cow. So we just got some manure in there, we got some compost, and we got some eggshells, and we got some chicken crap, and I put some peat moss in there, and I put some vermiculite and some topsoil, and you mix it all together, and I can just grow anything. That's not how it works, okay? Even plants need different foods, okay? When North Carolina, where I'm from, we have pine trees. Those pine trees drop needles, and they make the soil very acidic. So it's fantastic for azaleas and hydrangeas, okay? But it's terrible for roses. You with me on that? Okay. So my point is to let you understand that there are different levels of chemistry, both in plants and animals, and also specifically humans. So you can't go and say, well, bone health needs boron. Okay, well, it also needs strontium. Why don't you just go take some strontium too? So people go, oh, well, my bones are weak because I went and had a DEXA scan or a urine NTX, sample, and I have, osteopenia. So I'm gonna support bone health. So I'm gonna go take some calcium, and I'm gonna take some vitamin D, and then I'm gonna get some magnesium, and I'm going to do some boron, and I'm going to do some strontium, and that's what people do. They take their disharmony and they start throwing things at it, forgetting the one glaring fact that those are called dietary supplements. What does supplement means? It means it's not food. It is a supplement to food. So the big thing that's missing right off the bat, the big message for you guys at the fallacy, okay, is that you have to start with food, with nutrition. That's you have to understand that our bodies are made up of things that aren't us. We get it, it's called food, right? So the things that we consume need to be turned into us, and that is a dynamic process, okay? So when you have the info space that's absolutely replete with all these gurus, health gurus, and biohackers, and even some clinicians, their sole purpose is to give you content to drive you to dietary supplement sales funnels. Period. That is the truth, guys. That is the truth. You guys will notice I don't do any commercials for dietary supplements here. Okay? Why? Because I don't know you. I don't know your specific stuff to tell you to take something for something, right? This is why I don't have any of those. Okay? So the ugly truth is these people are guilty of selling you on a concept, and they give you zero ability or any method to determine if or how or why that a particular product applies to you specifically. That's it. Hopefully that makes sense to you, okay? So whenever you give a supplement to a patient or a client, whatever word you want to use, you have to have context of why. Because you got a Q square M square. Qualify the patient, it does this apply. Quantify to what degree it does, measure and monitor. In other words, then you have to know, okay, what marker are you going to track, right? So if you're investing in the stock market, right, you just don't go throw money, buy a stock. You want to track and see what it does, how it acts. You need to quantify. That's the same way in accounting. It's the same thing based upon every field, right? The upshot really boils down to, I really want people to understand that the big litmus test above all else, and this is central to balanced protocol philosophy and tenets and principles 101. You are a category of one. You must have qualification as to why you're taking said thing. And it can't just be to supposedly support something. Like, I'm going to take some turmeric for liver support. I'm going to take some fish oils for inflammation support. I'm going to take some astragalus for immune support. I'm going to take some jellyfish extract for brain support. I'm going to take some ginkgo biloba for memory support. And so many of you out there, bless your heart, are guilty of doing this, right? And this is why you either have that cabinet right beside your refrigerator, right, with all those bottles of good intentions. Or a drawer or something like that of all these incompletely taken supplements, right? Because you start into something under some presupposition, and you didn't have no way of determining if it was beneficial or not. You can't just go and feel. I felt better. Oh, great. Well, if you want to feel better, you can do some methamphetamine. Methamphetamine will make everybody feel better. Now, you lose your teeth, probably lose your job and your freedom because you'll be in jail, okay? But you'll feel better. I'm being smart alecky because I want you to understand it's the same kind of thing, okay? I want you to realize that you need to be aware of what's out there so that way you can make better decisions for yourself. I tell people very specifically, I can't tell you what you need just because you tell me what your diagnosis supposedly is. Well, I have Hashimoto's, what should I do? For a natural approach. Well, hell if I know. I don't know enough about you. And it's like, hey, listen, I need shoes. Okay, well, what size are your feet? What type of work are you going to do? You know what I'm talking about? Hell, it's just really simple logic is the thing I want people to understand. So one of the things is that I see here now is, of course, in the marketing world on the internet here, they're always going to use things that they're kind of appropriate now, okay? So one of the things for me is that I like to show you what I get, okay? And so here's a perfect example of the kind of stuff that I get all the time, okay? So this is from a particular guy, really super nice guy, Dr. Ben Lynch. wrote a book called Dirty Genes, nice little double entendre. But the entire premise of the book is wrong in the sense that you cannot, and let me look at you guys here in the camera. Let me tell you something. You ready? Listen real carefully. I'm going to zoom in here. You cannot determine what diet you should or should not eat or supplements you should or should not take based upon your genes. Period. You can't. Because just because you have some single nucleotide polymorphism like a COMT or an MTHFR or some other kind of thing, a NAT2, the bottom line is this: that doesn't tell you how it is functioning. That's it. That's the mic drop. Okay? So every single dietary program, app, book, clinician, or gene expert or gene coach or any of the gene stuff or making you have decisions based upon your genes is lying to you. Either they know it or they don't know it. Either way, shame on them and you. You cannot make decisions based upon what your genes are. It doesn't tell you anything at all whatsoever. For example, I have variants in my, mother effer gene, my methyl, transferase. So in other words, when we talk about methylation, my MTHFR, but I don't have a problem in the world with my methylation, zero. Okay, because number one, I don't put taxation on it. Number two, that's the first thing. The next thing is you want to look at the functional end products that reflect how methylation is working. Right now on the market, we don't have any readily available tests to determine gene expression for you. We don't, okay? It's a specialized test to determine if they're active or not, okay? So that's the take home. Stop taking supplements or listening to people or dietary advice or anything that they're telling you based upon your genes. They are liars, period. There's no exceptions. That's a fact, okay? You can't clean up your genes. You can't detox your genes. All those words. You can't do it. Hell, I had one of my practitioners ask me today just a little while ago in one of the follow-ups we do in her training was, what is a RF detox? So there's somebody out there telling people that you can detox radio frequency. No, you can't. And they'll always do it in the detoxes too, right? So here's an example. So back to this picture. So this is Ben Lynch's, advertisement. If you ever opt into his sales funnel, you'll get these just about every day, right? So Seeking Health is his line of supplements. So here's what's really cool. Is breathing working against your health, right? So as you guys all know, air is a big part of the actual tenets of Balance Protocol, okay? So what you've got is you've got some good content here. The difference between nasal breathing and mouth breathing. That's true, guys. You should be learning to breathe through your nose, not your mouth, okay? So there's some of that, the benefits here, but let me show you something. Here's what really cracks me up with this, okay? So everything in this email is true. It's absolutely great stuff. If you're a mouth breather, you can, results in, all kinds of different, contributes to asthma and allergies and all kinds of fun stuff. But here's the funny thing. So ready says ready, and here's the word. You're ready to support your respiratory health? Follow these 5 easy steps. Number 1, start retraining yourself to breathe through your nose. Become aware of your breathing patterns during the day. Okay, great, but that doesn't tell you how to actually breathe. It's a learned skill set. Now, of course, I teach that in Balance Protocol Enviro 2.0, the air module. But step 2, focus on keeping your lips closed unless you're talking, eating, or exercising strenuously. Okay? Consider taping your mouth at night or taping your nostrils open using the strips. Now, here's the thing on that. You got to be careful, okay? Because here's the thing. I have people taping their mouth shut at night, okay, which is a viable technique, but they're using duct tape, they're using packing tape, they're using medical tape from 3M. Well, guess what you're also doing now when you put those tapes on there? Now you have an 8 to 9 hour source, okay, of formaldehyde, VOCs, phthalates, and chemicals going into your nose all night while you sleep because they just said tape your mouth. They didn't give you the context that Balance Protocol does of what tape you should use. The other thing is there's no inclusionary or exclusionary criteria. Okay? If you don't know what your control pause is and it's down in like 10, 12, or 15, you shouldn't be taping your mouth at night. Don't do it, okay? I'm telling you clinically, you're going to run into problems, okay? So the bottom line is there is more context in these recommendations, okay? But you'll see people in the biohackers taping their mouth and just showing off, just like all of them in front of their red lights. You know, I wake up in the morning and I light my room up with red light. Okay, well, guess what? Nature ain't got no damn red like that all by itself in the morning time. But they're like, oh, but blue light's bad. That's not true at all, okay? It's context. So you see where I'm going with this? So it's the same thing when it comes to the gadgets and gizmos, the red light, the breath, the tape. It's all this, what I call biohackers. That's code for they don't know what they're doing. And the vast majority of them are non-clinicians, never seen a patient in their life, never done a clinical rotation in their life. Just like Doris Lowe, who says everything is ascorbate and melatonin. Based upon my investigation and discovery, she's never seen a patient in her life, never done a clinical rotation, but she's giving supplement advice to treat certain things. Well, guess what? I get all kinds of people who are damaged by those recommendations. So it's actually good for my business, so why am I complaining? But my point is this. You see these recommendations that you start getting from people, but here's where the rubber really hits the road, okay? Then it goes, make sure your air you're breathing is clean. Dr. Lynch is very passionate about air quality as one of the best ways to keep your genes and lungs functioning. Okay, air quality has nothing to do with your genes functioning. Okay, that's a lie. Your genes are going to function in the absence of air quality. Okay, and then invest in an air purifier. I agree. Now, he's an affiliate for Allen Air Purifiers. Okay, so let me tell you something here real quick. Okay, so if you go here and you take a look at this, okay, so give me another example. Okay, so Allen Air Purifiers suck, in my opinion. Okay, and I'm going to show you why. Okay, so let's click on more info. Let me give you an example. Okay, wellness starts with pure air. Oh, look at their virus stuff. So everybody's playing into it. Okay, so if you go to their air purifiers and you go here and just kind of look at their cream of the crop, their top model one here, okay, which is this Breathe Smart 75i True HEPA air purifier. And if you click on this, all right, and you can go and see the technical specs, okay? So this is what it does. Now look at this. Our customizable True HEPA filter covers all major concerns: allergies, dust, mold, bacteria, VOCs, cooking, and pet dead. Okay, that's not true at all. A HEPA filter is not going to address volatile organic compounds, VOCs. No, sir. No, ma'am. No, it doesn't. HEPA is a mechanical filter based upon particulate size. Okay? Okay, high efficiency particular particle arresting filter. Okay? So Allen purifiers suck compared to things. Why? Because they don't cover chemicals like VOCs, formaldehydes, and those type of molecules that are in the air. Not at all. And these things are loud, guys. I'm telling you right now. Now, they say 49 decibels, but it's louder than that upon me testing it, and it's awful. But listen, it's just a HEPA filter. It's totally just a HEPA filter. Okay, so here's a recommendation that does not address the biggest issue in air quality is not particulate matter. It's actually the chemicals, okay, that are in the air, that are outgassed from your furniture, your flooring, your carpet, computers, copiers, all kinds of stuff when it comes to air pollution. Remember, the third leading cause of disease, as per the CDC, because they don't add doctors in there, is pulmonary respiratory diseases, okay? Because air quality is toxic for people, okay? You're not addressing your humidity, you're not exchanging your air, and you're not cleaning it properly, and people think HEPA is the way to go. Now, if you have crappy air and you put this filter, Allen filter, in your house, you go, oh, it's better. That is absolutely correct. It's better than nothing. But make no mistake about it. Does it properly mitigate the air and the potential problems in it? Not in the least. Okay, so that ain't true. All right, so that's garbage. So the next thing is, and then now here's the thing, and this is that really just chaps my rump. Okay, you see this right here? Step 5: optimize your immune health, histamine tolerance, gut health, and antioxidant status. Learn more about breathing supplements. Breathing supplements? Are you out of your cotton picking mind? And, boom. So let's go look at breathing supplements. Okay? Breathing supplements? So you mean to tell me in order to breathe right, I have to supposedly block histamine, take some liposomal glutathione, take some N-acetylcysteine? Let me tell you something. If you don't have enough histamine production, you're going to have respiratory problems. If you keep popping a whole bunch of N-acetylcysteine, you're going to dry out your mucosa in your throat and in your nose, and you're going to set yourself up for infection and inflammation in your respiratory system. So guys, don't buy supplements based upon some presupposed support. Okay? This is classic stuff that I absolutely abhor. It's terrible. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, guys, specifically is because you guys asked me about this. I just had it asked, and then I got the same email in my email. So I had to come in here and show this to you guys, okay? Let me show you another email that I got just here recently, okay? And what it was is from a group that trains functional medicine practitioners, okay? And it's called Institute for Functional Medicine, okay? They are what I affectionately call the cabal, okay? Now, I've been practicing functional medicine for decades prior to going through their training, okay? I went through their modules, okay? It was an empty barrel. It was absolutely terrible. All it was just a bunch of talking about stuff and then telling you to take all these supplements that they never gave you any differential diagnosis of. They never told you what inclusionary, exclusionary criteria, and they never gave you doses, and they never give you any testing or quantification at all. Okay, so IFM practitioners do not know how to practice functional medicine, in my opinion. Okay, you guys can decide that for yourself, right? The vast majority of clinicians who come and train with me, so disclosure statement, I train other clinicians and physicians in functional medicine, but I also train them in balanced protocol. So are we competitors? Yes. So, but I don't have an axe to grind because of that. I have it because I'm speaking from first-hand personal experience with their education. It sucked. It was an empty barrel, and it doesn't empower anybody. It's really cool. It's fun, so $30-some thousand later. But here's what they did recently, okay? So they got to get on the bandwagon. Everybody has to jump while the iron is hot. So IFM sends me out this, okay? And again, you guys can go check this out for yourself. This is my opinion. You don't believe me. It's up to you. I'm just sharing you with what my experience is, and this is what it's based upon, okay? So functional medicine approach to COVID-19, as if any of them know. As if any of them know. It's only been a couple of months. I said months ago, I've never treated a SARS-CoV-2 patient in my life. Why? Because it was new. And so all of a sudden, these people are all experts in stuff in it, and they're doing things, right? So they give you this little stuff on nutraceuticals and botanicals, okay? And they list them all out of all the things and so forth, and, beta-glucans and mushrooms and Chinese skullcap and licorice and andrographis and astragalus and berberine. How in the hell do they have any science that applies to COVID-19 when COVID-19 is less than 90 days old? Okay, this is content for content's sake. This is content to sell supplements, which is what doctors are taught to do in this cabal that's out there in the functional medicine world, to sell you on supplements for diseases. Don't go the medical model. It's a failed chronic care system that that has uses a bunch of drugs and surgery, but now the functional approach. And then they do the same damn model just with a different medicine cabinet. And it's not even a medicine cabinet, it's a spice cabinet. It's turmeric and cinnamon and oregano and all the other little magical stuff from the fairy tree, okay? That's all it is. It's a spice cabinet model, okay? Now, so let me give you an example, because most people won't do this. Most docs won't do this because they don't have the time. So let's just take one here as of recent, because I've had people ask me, hey, Dr. Beck, what about melatonin, right? So you click on the melatonin thing, right? And so it takes you to their little spiel on this. Melatonin has been shown to have an inhibitory effect on NLRP3 inflammasome. This has not gone unnoticed by the COVID-19 research community. What? Okay. With 2 recent published papers posing the use of melatonin as a therapeutic agent in the treatment of COVID-19. Okay? So here's what they say. Mechanisms, actions against COVID-19 viruses. You see that, right? This is really important, okay, to realize. So you read that and you go, oh, well, melatonin must work for COVID-19. Well, first of all, for non-COVID-19 viruses, okay? But see, this is non-COVID-19. You see what I'm saying? It says outcomes data support their mitigating effects on illness from other viral strains. Research in progress. Strength of evidence, conditional. Okay, risk of harm, mild. All right, but look at their dosing, 5 to 20 milligrams. Holy crap. If you want to go and mess up all kinds of physiology, you start dosing 20 milligrams a day on melatonin and see what you get. Because you have to understand, just like the vaccine courts, the vaccine manufacturers have the vaccine court and you can't sue your doctor or them for that, guess what? In the dietary supplement world, you could sue them, but you're getting nowhere with it. These people who are telling you to take 20 milligrams, like Doris Le, okay, the non-clinician, that's her shtick. There's no recourse for you, okay? But you're going to go take it on the presupposition that it's beneficial, particularly at that dose, when they didn't even test your melatonin level or cycle, okay? You can make melatonin for free by getting your circadian rhythm right and having proper light mitigation, okay? So what I did I did this. I said, well, let's go take a little dumble. So they gave a little, see these little numbers in brackets, 83, 84, okay? So what you do is you got to normally scroll all the way down, and there it is, okay? Click here to see all references. So I had to do that just to get access. Okay, well, they're quoting a citation of number 83, okay? This is it right here, okay? Boom. So what you do is you got to go look up this particular citation. Now, people automatically think that it is a study. Well, no, it's not. It's an article. And there's a big difference. So here's that article, Melatonin as an anti-inflammatory agent modulating inflammasome activation. So here's the abstract. Inflammation, it's not talking specifically, may be defined as an innate response to harmful stimuli such as pathogens, injury, metabolic stress, okay? Its ultimate function is to restore physiological homeostatic state. So listen, these guys, I'm saying, this is why people don't read them, because this doctor speak is boring. Now looky here. This was published in October 2017, okay? Has nothing to damn do with COVID-19. Okay, but yet it's being shown as that, okay? So you can go through and you can read all this, okay? Just look up this. You'll be able to find its DOI number, all right? And you can read through all these things. All it does, it just talks about things. Melatonin is an endogenous indolamine, widely distributed in plants, unicellular organisms, algae, bacteria, invertebrates, absolutely, okay? So forth and so on. But here's the thing. So you can go and read through all of this fancy stuff, melatonin and inflammation, right? Then you see these cool little graphics and all this stuff, and these are all mechanisms, okay? But here's the problem. There's no context, okay, in these of you. You can't just go and take it as a preventative or an antiviral against SARS-CoV-2 vis-a-vis COVID-19 disease, okay? So this is just an article. They're just talking about a bunch of establishments. This is why at every point you'll see another citation. See these numbers in brackets? Citation, citation. So all they do is, out there in science, guys, they publish articles like this for peer review because there's money in it, okay? And they have to justify their budgets for their grants and stuff. It doesn't mean anything. This is not a study, okay? This is just an article written. It's just having a conversation. So get down here to the conclusion. Actually, NLRP3, inflammasome, and or mitochondria are known to be major targets of interest of the pharmaceutical management of inflammatory diseases. That is correct. Recent years have seen significant progress in understanding how inflammasomes contribute to the pathology of multiple inflammatory and immune diseases. Exactly. There's all kinds of different ones. You can't just say inflammation. That's like saying motor vehicle. Okay, what type of motor vehicle do you drive? Okay, oh, is it a scooter? Is it a motorcycle? Is it a Hummer? Is it an 18-wheeler? Okay, so you can't just go and say inflammation. But here's the thing. However, many important questions remain to be answered, including how host cells determine which inflammasome activates under specific conditions and how inflammasome signaling is interwoven with other innate and adaptive immune pathways. Okay, so you know what that means? You know what the speak is on that? This has no context of you. That's what that means. There's other things in play. You can't go and take melatonin as an antiviral or an anti-inflammatory. You can't, okay? Just like when you're putting out fires. There are certain fires you can't spray water on. Did you know that? Okay, if you have a grease fire, go and put out that fire with water. See what you get, okay? If you have an electrical thing, yeah, go put water on to put out that fire. Doesn't work. Sometimes we need some AFFF. Okay? Back in the day. Anyways, there's different ways to put out different fires. There's different ways to put out different inflammations. If the person doesn't know your source, type, profile, or context cube of your inflammation, and not all virus are the same or respond the same, okay? See where I'm going with this? This is what I wanted to share with you guys today, Balance Nation. Okay? Because this is what happens. You know, then you come up with these nice little pretty charts like this. COVID-19 nutraceutical and botanical recommendations for patients. Okay? Curcumin, of course. Everything is getting turmeric. Okay? Has been shown to reduce inflammation and decrease viral activity of COVID-19. No, it hasn't. There's no randomized double-blind placebo controls of COVID-19 against curcumin yet. It's only been a couple months and everybody's still locked in their damn house. What are you talking about? Okay? Oh, then just take some quercetin. Well, guess what? There's only one form of quercetin that actually works. Okay? So you just don't go, guys, just don't go buy quercetin and think it's going to do that either. That's a lie. Then zinc. As if zinc acetate, citrate, picolinate, glycinate, and gluconate all have the same effect. And then there's N-acetylcysteine. So this is what you guys will do. You know, tell me in the comments. If you've ever done this, it's okay. You can come out. Okay, you're safe here. Have you ever seen something like this and you just go and you just buy everything on the list? Right? You ever go get a lab test back and whatever's on the sheet, they tell you just to go take that. So you go buy some, curcumin, some quercetin, some zinc, some NAC, some D, some A, some C, some melatonin, some elderberry, some PEA, some green tea, some resveratrol, some beta-glucans, medicinal mushrooms, and licorice root. Yeah, what a cocktail. How do you know there's nothing on this page that differentiates you from anybody else. Sure, go take some licorice. Well, guess what? What if you're a hypertensive patient? You know what will happen if you take licorice? You're going to run into problems. Okay, what if you have, different GI imbalances? You go start taking some curcumin or some NAC, you're going to run into some problems. Okay, you think vitamin D oral supplementation is benign? No, it's not. Okay, there's various levels. Vitamin D will actually shift your pH more alkaline. Vitamin C will shift it more acidic, depending upon where you are in there. Okay, so here's what happens. You go and you get these people who, have low D, but they're plant-based, and they tend to have more of an alkaline pH. They start dosing these, people like Tom O'Brien was telling everybody to take 50,000 IU of vitamin D every day, bang, 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 and you drop them out. There's an entire Facebook group dedicated to people who were on death's door because they were taking vitamin D oral supplementation. But do we give vitamin D oral supplementation clinically? Of course we do. It's just another molecule with clinical exertion of benefit in the context of the individual. Okay? Then you got another doc out there who decided to go ahead and make his niche vitamin A toxicities for everybody. No one should take vitamin A. And then you got people that gave vitamin C fixes everything. And then now you got that same person, with the bowl cut lady saying melatonin for everybody. You see where I'm going with this, guys? I have a penchant for revealing the folly and being very specific and showing you where my opinion comes from and how you can go and research it. Okay? Don't just believe me, because I don't want to say, well, aren't you doing the same thing? No, I'm not. I don't sell you guys supplements. I don't do it. Okay? I sell knowledge and training and clinical consultation, okay? People spend hundreds of dollars on supplements and pipe dreams because they read some blogger stuff or some biohacker had some cool little funnel on Instagram and you clicked it and you fell for it, okay? So, point of the matter is, this is the same thing when it comes to everybody now wanting to detox, okay? In Balance Nation, somebody posted a thing about detox and heavy metals because that's other people's shtick, right? Heavy metals are the source of everybody's problems. Well, I thought it was the melatonin. I thought it was the vitamin C. I thought it was the curcumin. Oh, okay. Well, on your thing, everything is all heavy metals. Okay, gotcha. Okay, but not all heavy metals are the same. Mercury, lead, cadmium, aluminum, they all respond differently. And so then people start selling you these detoxes and these fasting mimicking diets like Prolon, which is another brilliant, beautifully packaged crock of bullshit if I ever seen it. Fasting mimicking diet. So then all the functional medicine docs all got on board on that. Because why? Because they can buy it for $150 and sell it to you for $350. But the point is this. I want you to understand that when it comes to detoxes, and if you have excessive heavy metals because your air sucked, your water sucked, and your food sucked, I get it. They're real things. They cause physiological problems that they're attributing to said things, okay? But there is a big difference in each one of those heavy metals. If you have excess mercury and cadmium and lead, you cannot just go after it the same way as if you just had excess mercury. Doesn't work like that, okay? And then if you go pulling them out of tissue, but with a provoked challenge, they collect your urine for 24 hours and say, see how much mercury you got in there? We got to go after that mercury. You're presupposing that you forcing that out of the tissues by using an electrical chelation chemistry, that your liver is going to be okay to handle that capacity, that your immune system and your lymphatics have the ability to deal with you pulling all of that crap out. That's like me going and saying, well, honey, I know we have a cocktail party tonight and we have a bunch of friends coming over, but I'm going to clean out the garage and I'm going to just pull all that stuff in here so I can organize it here in the kitchen, while we're entertaining. You can't do that. Okay? So anyways, my point is this. Real simple today. As you guys go through these health crises that are out there, please be careful and do your due diligence, research, look into some things, okay? And don't ever go and buy a supplement as a reflex because you saw a cool little ad on Instagram or Facebook or something like that, and it sounded like all the things that you want. You still have to determine if that is you. Because if you don't, the potential downside is massive, okay? And this is the case with everything, okay? I've seen it happen with CBD and cannabis. I've seen it happen with hyperbarics. I've seen it with chelation. I've seen it with IV nutrition. Remember, I've been at this for 26 years, tens of thousands of patients later, and I've seen so many people wrecked because they got their training from places like I've talked about here, and they have no differentiation or any framework to work upon, nor are they quantifying you of supplements. And then you have supplements that people will go and take in addition to what their clinician, who only sees them, every 6 to 8 weeks as a follow-up. Come see me, we do a couple of tests, send you on your way. Here's your, $400 worth of supplements, and I'll see you back. Guess when? When it's time to refill your supplements. And then meanwhile, you go and add more stuff to it because you're not quite getting the results that you want. That's what my take home was, because I have people asking about all these things here just recently. And I went to go have one of the clinicians that I train find some zinc to give to one of their patients who we did a blood test and we measured their plasma level of zinc to determine their zinc need. And it was insufficient. It was down at like 76, okay? And so the point is it should be about 120. So it was insufficient. But guess what? You can't find zinc. Everybody all bought it all up because of the bull crap from COVID-19 hoax. So you see what I'm running into? So this is why I said today on Saturday, I've got some extra time. I want to jump on here and talk to you guys about the fallacies that happen. I wanted to give you some very specific things that people are taking advantage of. You'll get emails. You'll have, people like Isabel Wentz will tell you everything is your thyroid, and Doris Lowe will say everything is vitamin C, and Jack Cruz will tell you everything is DHA. And the reason why I'm naming my names is because I want you to go, look, prove me wrong. What's my shtick? I'm like, I don't know. My shtick is it's convoluted. It's a process, but here's what you can do. You can go to programs.balanceprotocol for free and take Balance Protocol Prime and know what my shtick is. What is Balance Protocol? If you're watching my videos and you hear me talk about Balance Protocol and you don't know what it is, here's your opportunity. Go to programs.balanceprotocol.com, enroll in Balance Protocol Prime, watch those 3 modules, and you'll get it. There's no upsell, there's no downsell, there's no cross-sell, there's no sale. You won't even need your credit card, okay? That's it, all right? You guys need to realize that you are a category of 1. No one else is like you, and not you nor me or anybody else can tell you what you need to do, should be doing, or should not be doing unless they have some objective data that they can translate through your unique clinical history. That's it. If you're taking any supplement right now that was not substantiated by clinical functional laboratory assessment and review, stop it. Take it back. Go get your money back. That's what you got to do. Now, some are relatively benign, but a lot of them are not. And it just all depends on what your cocktail is. Just like there's drug-to-drug interactions or certain pharmaceutical drugs we can't prescribe at the same time because they mess with the pathways, supplements are like that too. You can't just go and take everything together, particularly when you're dealing with herbs. Holy crap. If you start going and start taking things like astragalus green tea and andrographis, you're looking for trouble, man. You're going to have problems. I promise you. It might take you 3 years, but holy moly, you are freaking playing with fire. Stop the supplements that you aren't justified with quantifiable data. That's the summary. Same thing with the detoxes. Don't ever detox first. And you can't detox through your feet, and you can't do ionic foot baths and any of that other kind of crap, okay? The body has all kinds of detox pathways and channels and phases, and that's convoluted. And if you don't do it in the right order, then you're going to make things worse. Guaranteed. All right, so let me see if anybody's got any comments here real quick that I need to answer, any questions, and then I'll let you guys go. Let's see. Oh, my fans. Damn fluoride. Let's see. TJ Lung says, damn fluoride right in the brain. You just blew my mind. Damn, yeah, because you know what happens, you guys? You don't go and not you, okay? I'm saying you guys. People don't read the inserts. They don't go and look up the damn molecule. Same thing they do for vaccines. They have no idea. They just go, oh, well, I was told to go get the flu shot. Oh, I was told to get the vaccine. So I'm just going to march my little butt into a thing, and I'm going to roll up my sleeve, and they're just going to randomly inject something into me that you have no idea what the ingredients are. Hell, I wouldn't go and eat somebody's soup that they cooked in their kitchen unless I know what's in it. Okay? Unbelievable. Okay? Carla says, your light needs 3 things: light, water, and oxygen. Yeah, I wish it was that simple. That's not true at all. You need all kinds of things. You need carbon. You need hydrogen. Okay? And all the other minerals don't do things without those either. Okay? And here's the thing. Light, water, and oxygen, but at what rate? When, right? So here's the thing. Remember these guys. Here's the 5 things. Source, form, dose, frequency, and duration. Source, form, dose, frequency, and duration. You can apply that to light. You can apply it to water. You can apply it to oxygen. You can apply it to whole wheat. You can apply it to carrot juice. You can apply it to zinc. Okay? So it's more than that. I wish it was simple, but it's not. Okay? So that's what it is. So let's see. My protege, Jean, says, having gone through many IFM modules, I can tell you Dr. Beck is correct on the lack of quality of their training. Well, thank you, John. Quite proud of you. Thanks for sharing your testimony of your kicking ass on that case the other day. Good stuff. Okay, TJ Long says, sunlight during the day and darkness at night equals melatonin. That's true. Okay, you can also get melatonin by eating pistachios. Did you guys know that? A little handful of pistachios, a little natural melatonin, and a little bit of fat, a little protein. Nice little evening snack. Let's see here. TJ says, if you want an anti-inflammatory, take your shoes off and go in the grass. That's totally true. But guess what, guys? I'm a huge earther, round earther. Okay? Here's the deal. It ain't enough. It's not enough. And did you know something? You ready for another mind blower? Too much continuous connection to the earth can drain you. That's it. You hear it first. Okay? Now, if you went through Balance Protocol Enviro 2.0 and you get into the EMF module, you'll learn more about that. But here's the thing. Just like you can drink too much water, structured, remineralized, healthy, lovely, and delicious water. You start slamming a gallon of that every day, gallon and a half, because you think water is all wonderful for you. Well, guess what? You'll induce hyponatremia. You'll water down the body electric. And you know what happens when you do that? When you go hang out in the grass and stuff like that? That's right. You create physiological problems. This is why it's balance, okay? It's air, water, light, sound, EMF, and food is the starting place, but there's so many systems involved. So, yes, get in the sunshine, barefoot, naked as you can, okay? But if anybody knows, I grew up at the beach. I'm from Wilmington, North Carolina, okay? Wrightsville Beach. Bottom line is this. You spend the time in the sunshine, in the grass, in the sand, in the water, and all that stuff, and you get wiped out. Too much of a good thing becomes a bad thing. Same thing when it comes to sex, money, gambling, day trading, all kinds of fun stuff. You see where I'm going with that, all right? Clarissa says, I just like watching you crack yourself. I do crack myself up. It is one of the funniest things here. Thanks, Clarissa. Jeffro says, hey, Dr. B, what are your thoughts on food-based multivitamins and superfood powders? Great question, Jeffro. You handsome son of a... All right, so here's the deal. Listen, guys, I'm going to tell you something. Any of these food-based things, it's a lie. It's not food-based. Let me tell you what they do. What they do is they go and they take yeast and they take, the same coal tar, petroleum-derived B vitamins and all those other kind of things that they put in stuff like Centrum and One A Day and all those stuff. Here's what they do. They take a vat, they put it in a menstruum, they put the yeast in there, and then they throw in the same damn supplements, and the yeast now grows and pulls in those nutrients. They harvest that, dehydrate it, grind up, stick it in a capsule, and tell you plant-based, because technically yeast is fungus, it's a plant. Okay? That's the dirty secret. That's right. I just whistleblowed on that. So all these food-based multivitamins, that's what they're basically saying. You'll go and see it. It'll say Saccharomyces cerevisiae. So basically they take Saccharomyces cerevisiae and they put these things into it and then they sell it to you as plant-based. It's a lie. That's why you always see like 0.0, and the amount of the potency is just simply not there. Just not there. So that's the first thing. Okay? The second thing is that then you'll have companies like Juice Plus, famous one, multi-level marketing company and everything like that, okay? They took over the plant tower growing market and everything. Anyways, so like people like Juice Plus, if you got any friends that sell Juice Plus or you sell Juice Plus, you'll hear this. This serving, okay, is equivalent to 16 servings of fruits and vegetables. Okay, I challenge anyone, literally, I'll give you $100,000 if you can take, okay, 8 cups, 10, 16 cups, whatever the number is, and put that into the largest capsule that we have in the supplement market called a double lot. Okay, it's a double lot capsule. Okay, if you can get 8 cups, if you can get 4 cups, if you can get 2 cups of any vegetable that you want, hell, I'm gonna even go for a cup, into one double lot capsule that, depending upon the bulk density of the substance in there, even if it's really small, like say chlorella, you're not going to get that in there. The max you might get in there is about 768 milligrams. You can't. It's a lie. And usually you'll see that capsule, that graphic, and you'll see all the vegetables in it. You guys ever see that picture? And you take that supplement, it's like eating 8 servings of vegetables. They're just straight up lying. It's called physics. No, you can't. If you put it into nitrogen, okay, and absolutely dehydrated it, froze it, ground it into a powder, you could not get a cup of any damn vegetable into a double lot cap. So that's a lie. So the food-based multivitamins are a ruse. Now let's talk about superfood powders, Jeffro. Superfood is conjecture, okay? Guess what? Blueberries, superfood. Spirulina, superfood, okay? Bee pollen, superfood. I get it, okay? Superfoods, right? Got it. There's a famous one out there trained with a guy back in the day, his name Dr. Schultz. He actually has a product called Superfood, okay? But anyways, the point is this. There's all kinds of superfoods. Some of them are great, okay? So here's the problem with these superfoods complexes. Now, it's out of stock. Okay, but my first supplement I ever made was a powder called Food of Life. It's a superfood. What does it have in it? Spirulina, chlorella, wheat juice, barley juice, alfalfa juice, kelp, dulse, bee pollen, and spinach. Okay, so superfoods in a powder. But here's the thing. There's a difference in some powders that'll take something like, say, wheatgrass, and they'll grind up the wheatgrass and put it in the powder. That's not the same as if they took the wheatgrass, squeezed it, pulled the juice, dehydrated it, and put that into a powder. So you got to know what you're getting into. There's a big difference, okay, between eating ground up whole wheatgrass versus wheatgrass powder. You with me on that? That's one thing. Next thing, like athletic greens, crappy product in my opinion. Here's the reason why. They have this big long laundry list, and that makes people go, look at all this that I'm getting. Okay? That's like going, oh, you take a carrot and you go, I got carrot. You'd be lucky. Do you know what a milligram is, guys? Do you know how, so if you go, oh, well, our proprietary complex, has 150 milligrams of carrot, of broccoli, and you have this long list. There's like 60 things in there. And that's just designed on purpose to make you think you're getting some stuff. You're not. Okay? Now, better than nothing? Yeah, so I might be a little, overboard here. There are different products out there. I don't endorse any of them. Okay? Then there's some that are actually pretty tasty. Okay? Like one of the ones got a lot of traction out there from, and it's not to put him down. Matter of fact, Jeff Rowe, mutual friend, okay, Drew Canoli has a product called Organifi. It's delicious. It's a nice product. I like it, okay? But there's a lot of sales and marketing fluff and buff around it, okay? Not too many people that it's contraindicated for. So I like it. It's really nice. It's tasty. It's got a good price point. It's got good sourcing and so forth. Okay, but at the same time, you got to be careful of what it is. If you think it replaces eating foods, no, it's a supplement. So that's that. So superfood powders, it's kind of crazy. Gundry's, he's got all his kind of stuff. That's all crap. Same kind of thing. It's like, lectins are bad, but not if you take my supplement because lectin shield. So this bad thing, if you take mine, you can eat. Pretty brilliant. Okay, so TJ asked me, what's the net benefit as far as magnesium with Epsom salts baths? Okay, well, Epsom salts, magnesium sulfate. It's named Epsom from the place it comes from over in England. Pip, pip. Okay, Epsom. So Epsom salts, magnesium sulfate. Well, because magnesium and sulfur has a very cool, together, bonded in Epsom salts, has a very relaxing effect on smooth muscle, most particularly secondary skeletal muscle. It's because of its ionic charge. Okay. Now, when you soak in magnesium sulfate, I don't want you to think that it's a source of magnesium coming into the skin and a source of sulfur. It actually stays pretty bound together. So when it comes to Epsom salts baths, muscle relaxing is phenomenal. Really good for that. And this is in a thread here in Balance Nation just here recently. Epsom salts baths do not dehydrate your body. That's just malarkey. Just yikes. But it's different than, say, a magnesium chloride, right? Which is like, magnesium flakes. So magnesium chloride is different than Epsom salt, okay? Magnesium chloride, the chloride molecule attached to the magnesium, can actually be contraindicated for people with hypopermeable membranes. Those are people who have too much saturated fat relative to free fatty acids in their membranes. Yes, if you eat too much saturated fats relative to PUFAs, all the bad stuff that Matt Blackburn, an unqualified clinician, biohacker, blah, 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 guy says that are bad for you. That's not true. PUFAs, the body needs them and makes them. So there's a balance between those and saturated fats in your phospholipid bilayer membrane. The bottom line is if you have thin, tight membranes, I do not recommend using magnesium chloride, either topically or soaking in it, because chloride can fixate to sterol heads and actually make things worse. So there's a big difference in those. So I want to say that because when people talk about salt baths, there's a big difference between Epsom salts, Dead Sea salts or sea salts, and magnesium chloride flakes. Hopefully that answers your question. Let's see here. Carla says, great info. Thank you. Okay, Jeffro says, for nutritional testing, are there good consumer options available that don't require doctor's order, like Wellness FX? No, Wellness FX sucks, okay? It's not, here's the thing. Yes, there are nutrient testings out there. You can get them all at directlabs.com. One more time, directlabs.com. Even ones that I use on my patients, okay? I go direct to the lab. My pricing is less expensive. But my point is this. It's the interpretation of the lab. That's the challenge, guys. I wish I could just have you guys self-steer and go get labs, and if it says this, do this, take this. It's not that easy. This is why I don't have the marketing shtick. This is why I don't have the sales funnels, because it's balanced protocol is the end all to big end all. It is. It is a framework, but that navigates through all of it. But the problem is you tell a different story every time, right? And it's just like every game of chess. Same players, same stuff, same things. Two different people playing on the same board. You have a different, thing. So, and then the nutrient testing, it depends. Like Wellness FX does a whole lot of blood stuff and values. And the problem with that is it doesn't, just because somebody checks you for your B6 levels in your blood, for example, doesn't tell you if that B6 is functioning or operating. And if it is, on what systems it's performing and which systems it applies to, it's not performing. Okay? So, Jeffro, unfortunately, no. Brenton says, thanks for being much needed voice of reason, Dr. Beck. Thanks, guys. Love you for it. TJ says, have you heard of Stephanie Sneff, Sulfur Easy Water Detox? Yes, I'm very familiar with Stephanie. Her shtick is glyphosate, sulfur, everything. That's not true, okay? I've always been critical, and I've said of her who you should get your information from should be the embodiment of health. What are some of the embodiments of health? Well, just like when you're shopping for fish, ready? The eyes should be clear. White sclera, okay? They should have strong, healthy teeth. Good, healthy skin. They should not be obese. They shouldn't look like a strip of bacon. They shouldn't have dark circles in their eyes. They shouldn't be having their hair falling out. Things like that. So, unfortunately, Sneff has a lot of great info, good knowledge on that kind of fun stuff. But she and of herself is not healthy or well. Physician, heal thyself, okay? So no. The other problem is here's the litmus test I'm trying to teach you guys. If you look at someone's shtick, content, or whatever, here's one of the differentiating factors. Did they show me how I, meaning you, fit into said niche or shtick? What's the inclusionary criteria? What's the exclusionary criteria? That's what we do when it comes to clinical trials. We quiz everybody. We find out, okay, are you a smoker? Have you taken antibiotics? Are you on any other medications? Where you've and we do some labs. And then some people, you don't make the cut. You can't be in the study because you didn't meet the criteria. Okay? So that's the litmus. I don't want to tell you what to think. I want to tell you how to think. Okay? I want to teach you what you should be looking for. Okay? Yes, easy water is a real thing. I cover it extensively in Balanced Protocol Enviro 2.0. It has a whole module dedicated to water. Okay? Jerry Pollack, friend of mine. We've talked a few times on video and things like that. He's a lovely man, but he's not a clinician. Never seen a patient in his life. So same kind of thing. What you got to understand is, guys, there's a bunch of research out there, but you got to determine how it applies to you. Detoxification is a clinical principle. Sulfur, very needed substance in the body, just like all the other things on the energy, frequency, and vibration secret of the universe, a la Tesla things. It's called the periodic table of elements, okay? But guess what? The periodic table of elements, it only talks about electrical. There's no magnetic reflection. So there's even things missing from the periodic table. To learn all that, you got to come train with me, okay? It's my little bait and switch. You see that? I got you. So anyways, yes, I'm familiar with there, TJ. Great question. All right. Let's keep going through more. Got a lot of good questions today. It's pretty good. Sean says, love pistachios. Oh, they are good. You ever made pistachio butter? Grind that stuff up? Oh, man, on a piece of toast. Matter of fact, pistachio butter in with some avocado. Just stop it. A little bit of truffle oil on some high gluten bread. Oh, slice of tomato. Get out of town. Let's see here. Carla Burns says, can you speak about frequency on an episode, please? Sure. Well, you got to help me define what frequency, okay? Frequency of what are we talking about? Frequency of light, frequency of sound, frequency of taking supplements, frequency. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Carla. TJ says, first time I've heard that, but I can see how it would be possible. That's cool. TJ says, should we be grounded more at night and less at day? I don't really think that really matters. For me particularly, I think that it's context. I don't think that there's a set value of more day or night, that kind of stuff. One of the things, whenever I have something come into question, the first thing I turn to is nature as a litmus. Okay, and so we could get into some philosophy on that. My thing is I believe that if you ground, I don't like to use the word ground, but if you get an earth connection multiple times of the day for a few minutes, a lot of things continues to work. Okay, my entire house is grounded, my entire porcelain floor. So everywhere I walk around, I have an earth connection. So I'm kind of but then sometimes that starts to make my feet hurt all day. So I'll put on some socks, right? Which my socks, block the connection. Okay, because remember, leather and cotton and stuff like that actually blocks. So, anyways. Let's see here. TJ say one more. Liposomal vitamin C, Thomas Levy. Oh boy, that's a big thing. You got to ask me a specific question about that. Guys, don't be fooled by liposomal. I've made my own using sunflower lecithin and a sonic machine, and you can do listen. Vitamin C, glutathione, all the other kind of fun stuff. They're playing with something. That's a marketing thing. I'm seeing it happen in CBD now, and they're talking about makes it more absorbable. Okay, so what? More absorbable. That doesn't make it more transportable once it gets into circulation, and it doesn't make it more assimilatable when it gets delivered to the target tissue and then in the cell. Then it got to go through the cell wall, then it has to go to the internal, cytosol, and then it has to come out of that and then into the organelle. Okay, so you got all these walls to go through. So in supplements, when they're talking about it's more absorbable, they're talking about from the gut. But that is just the beginning. That's like getting in the car to go on a road trip. So it's just suckerage, man. It's just people suckering people. Linda says, can the same framework be applied to animals? I would like to think so. I really do. But I don't have the clinical experience of applying it to other species other than the Homo sapiens. A little bit on, dogs and cats, but nothing extensive to where I would feel comfortable stating that in the affirmative. That's just beyond my scope of practice. Carla says, how frequency can affect us? Can it be measured or altered with food and devices? Okay, I'm still trying to get clear. Okay. Yes. Put it this way. Here's how I think of frequency when it comes to that. Everything is movement. There is nothing still. Everything is moving. Even this lovely Yeti. Balance protocol for the win. All right, so anything that's not us has to become us. So when I eat a cucumber, that cucumber is foreign. I have to make that cucumber me. If I eat a piece of steak or a piece of chicken or a scallop or a camarone, okay, if I can't take a muscle biopsy and go, oh, that bicep was made from grass-fed bison. Okay, oh, that gluteus maximus was made by venison. You can't. Things ceased being them and become us. We have to put them on our frequency. The only way that frequency happens is by resistance, and that resistance is measured by pH and electrical and magnetic. So yes, it can be measured and altered with food. Devices, absolutely not. You are not going to zap a piece of food and change its frequency. It's not going to happen. Okay? No, I've seen that out there and people crack me up. because your body's going to change it and put it on our resonant frequency anyways. And you can't do that without adequate enzyme function, electrolyte, and a bunch of other things. So hopefully that answers your question, Carla. Jeffro says, what are your thoughts on probiotic supplements and enzyme supplements? Man, you guys are rapid fire on me. This is going to be a long video. They have their place. Probiotic supplements and enzyme supplements are fantastic. They actually are some of the things that help provide that resistance to put food on our resonant frequency so we can incorporate it into our tissues and make it us. However, that doesn't mean everybody should take probiotics and want probiotics. There's a big range in that term. That's like saying automobiles. I think everybody should own an automobile. What am I talking about? Are we talking about an Aston Martin? Are we talking about a Ferrari? Okay. Are we talking about a Harley? So all probiotics are different. Okay. Same thing when it comes to enzymes. I have those products. They're all out of stock currently right now. But yes, enzymes. But then what type of enzymes, right? We talk about lipase, protease, amylase, there's tons. So I like to make those specific upon the individual's case and need. However, like for instance, if ever I eat a larger piece of meat, more than say 4 ounces, 6 ounces, like if I'm going to tear into a tomahawk ribeye on my Rectech grill, okay, or a rack of ribs, I'm going to take enzymes because I don't want to put that taxation on my body to have to do that, even though mine are repleted. I like to give it a little bit of help, if that makes sense. Boy, TJ's got all kinds of great questions today. I love the daddy picture there. I get Lipo Naturals and put it on my skin, and it was only thing that helped my rash, and I had like a freaking MRSA type thing on my leg. Anecdotal? Well, absolutely. Well, then, hey, listen, go with that. You know what's cool about anecdotal evidence? It's still evidence. Everything that I've done clinically is technically anecdotal to me. So, okay, knock yourself out. I don't know the context of all the other things that were in play for you, TJ, but if that worked for you, great. At least you're Q square and M squaring to a degree, so that's awesome sauce. Nora, what's up, stranger? I hadn't seen you in a while. So with liposomal, is it more absorbable, but if your body isn't going to take use of it, in most cases, it won't be better. That is correct. That is correct. And if your body can take use of it easily and efficiently, then you don't need to pay for liposomal. That is correct, sir. Bing, 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 bing. It's entirely correct. That's entirely correct. Okay? For me, I'm going to get my vitamin C from food. Okay? I'm going to eat those, horrible things that are not allowed in the bullcrap autoimmune paleo, or the bulletproof, or any of these other kind of craps called fruit. Golly, that's because, it has fructose in it. Just like grains have gluten in it. Could you imagine if we didn't have people in our life because of one piece of their body part, because another person that did us wrong had another one of those body parts? Crazy. But the rash was from so the rash was from gloves at work. Yeah, see, so there's context. There's context. Now, what if the rash had no topical involvement and then on another person? You don't know. So anyways, hey, listen, TJ, appreciate it. Much love back to you. That's really nice. All right, guys, I'm going to go. I got to go make some potato salad and some coleslaw and get ready for the Memorial Day weekend. Like I said, I will not be social distancing. I will not be wearing a mask. Never have, never will. All right? But hey, guys, remember what I told you back in the day? It'll be all done in May. And guess what? Boom. The boy was right. Okay, guys, listen, that's my take home when it comes to the supplements. Do your due diligence. Remember, at the end of these videos, I'm critical of people that I talk about. I name them by names because I love to be transparent. I welcome you guys to apply the same litmus tests and judgments and critique to me. But read the closing statements and you'll understand where I'm coming from and why I'm saying that. Okay? All right, guys, love you. Until next time, live life in balance. And if you don't know how to, go over to programs.balanceprotocol.com and learn Balance Protocol, okay? And get involved. That's the way you do it. I'm here to continue to serve you guys. And if you want a copy of this video, go over to youtube.com/Balance Protocol. Just imparting, I'm going to show you guys here that I have the honor of having another video taken down by YouTube because it didn't meet the community guidelines. And you know what the actual video was? The video was, I'm going to show you behind the scenes here, kablam, okay? It was the one that I said, pay close attention and question everything. Now is the time to really dig deep and turn your minds to the WHO. Oh, sorry. Who profits is the WHO. That was a Freudian slip. From this pandemic, as well as what recommendations will start coming that are designed to leverage this hoax hysteria into relinquishing our freedoms. They didn't like that, but guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to redub that video and I'm going to republish it. Okay? I'm going to mess up their AI so they don't pick it up, and then I'll let you guys know when it's back up again. So I'm very aware that there's other platforms and stuff like that. The good news is I always keep a hard copy of every one of these shows that I do, and they'll be archived on my platform that I'll be launching here pretty soon. It's just taking a while because I got to do everything the right way, not coming off half-cocked. But anyways, guys, live life in balance. Love you so much, and I will see you soon.